Hey guys, Dean here. In today's dropshipping video, I'm going to be talking about the Biaheza dropshipping course, which is perhaps one of the most biggest courses out there to learn e-com and get into dropshipping. Now, this course is extremely popular, and I'm also a fan of the Biaheza channel, and I think he's done a good job on the course. But this is going to be an honest review of the pros and cons of the course and what you can expect when experiencing it. And of course, I've been through the full course and originally used the original course and some of the tips from the new updated course in building my dropshipping stores, and it was part of my knowledge seeking process as I learned the whole thing. Now, I've been through quite a few different dropshipping courses, so a lot of my knowledge comes from a lot of different places, videos, and that's where a lot of my expertise comes from. But I've also experienced the Biaheza course, so I'm going to be sharing the information about that too. So the first step we're going to go through is what the course covers. So we're going to go over the subsections, how the course is laid out, and how it's actually structured, because this course actually has a pretty good structure to it. Now, you can ignore my eye in this video because I currently do have an eye infection, but I'm going to try my best to actually get through this video while I'm sick. Okay, so the first section of the course basically goes through how dropshipping works. So this is kind of basically quite self-explanatory, right? It goes through a basic overview of what dropshipping is and how the actual business model works as a whole. Then we go through the 4 pillars of dropshipping, okay? So this is how the course is structured. It's structured in 4 different subsections, or 4 primary subsections, and this is called the 4 pillars of dropshipping. This is how Biaheza has structured his course and broken it down to make it easy to understand into sub-chapters, just like a normal course would be in school, for example. Then we have the section if outsourcing is useful, so if you can outsource your services and certain things like that. That's what that section's about. Then we have the product selling checklist. So this is quite useful. This kind of gives you a basic insight on which products may be useful and why they may or may not be useful. So what things do you have to look for in a product which makes it useful? So for an example of this would be, does the product solve a problem? So this is a really useful subsection of this course for people who have no experience in product sourcing and marketing and finding a product which actually will sell. So this is a good tick list, which I think is one primary part of the course, which I think is useful. Then we have where to source winning products. I just did a video of this on my channel on my own personal methods, which are quite similar to this. So if you want to check that out, do check that out in the link in the description below or on my channel. But basically this section goes through a few different manual methods and a few different website/service methods that you can use to easily and a little bit more long-winded in a research fashion find which products are actually winning products and why. So it's going to go through how to source them through things like AliExpress, and also how to use websites like Ecom Hunt, for an example, to find products which are already being successful. So this is a pretty good section. There's a few methods which are free and a few methods which are services you might actually have to sign up for. Then we actually have a really useful method. So if you've been following Biaheza and a lot of these similar YouTubers who have e-com stores for dropshipping, you want to know which products have they sold that have been successful, right? We all want to know these secrets. So the next section is example products that he sold. Now this goes through kind of like a case study of 2 or 3 different products which he sold in the past and found some success in. So there's going to be quite a lot of value in this part of the course. Then we have the types of stores to start. So this goes over things like single product stores and general stores, which is like multi-product stores. Then the explanation of product picks is the next section. And then this is the main core part for complete beginners. We have the creating a Shopify store from scratch step by step. So this part of the course basically guides you through creating an account on Shopify and building a store using the customizer or the store builder if you're basically a first timer. So this is a pretty good example of how to use the web builder in Shopify's service. Then we have tips for high conversion to your product page, which is really useful, especially if you're building a product page for the first time. And then we have the creation of the product page. Now, if you import a product directly from AliExpress using a plugin, usually it will build the page for you, but you'll have to customize it a little bit. But he shows you how to make the product page actually from scratch with a new product, which can be quite useful. These are basically just simple first time tips for people who are completely new to Shopify, but this is a good thing because most people who buy a course are going to be a complete beginner anyway, right? Then we have importing product page reviews. So this uses the plugin. I think he uses Ali Reviews. I used a different plugin when I built my store, but I think he uses Ali Reviews, and he shows you how to import product reviews so your page looks more legit straight from AliExpress. Really useful thing to learn. And then we have the final branded website result where he shows off the website he's built. The next section is going to be what most people are going to find useful, right? Whether you've checked out his old version of the course or if you want to know how the whole boom around TikTok ads works, which is kind of the whole big thing right now, then this section is going to be useful. So we first have how TikTok ads generally work. So how does their system work in comparison to things like Facebook ads? And then we have setting up the TikTok ad account. So if you don't know how to do it, this is how to set it up. Unfortunately, TikTok ads actually makes you type in some kind of business account number or VAT ID now, which is really annoying. Don't remember if he went through that in his video, but that was an annoying thing that I had to go through when I made a TikTok ads account. Then you have dealing with disapproved ads. This is going to be actually one of the most biggest obstacles you're going to go through, right? Because when you make an ad campaign, sometimes you use a few wrong or censored words, or maybe your ad is a little bit too suggestive or something, depending on your products. So you're going to get a lot of ads removed or banned. And luckily, if your account doesn't get banned, this kind of explains how you can evade that and get around the ads so they can be approved, which is important because you're going to have to wait like up to 24 hours usually for an ad campaign to be approved, which does waste a little bit of time. Then we have scaling the ads. So when you purchase some ads and you see the product actually get maybe 1 or 2 sales, how do you further scale it and basically pay for more ads, for an example? And then we have other forms of marketing on social media. So from my memory, I believe this section went over Facebook ads and Instagram ads, although there is coverage on that later. But it basically talks about how you can market on other social media platforms, not just TikTok, which is useful, but he has his old clips on that in a few moments, which I'll also explain. So the next section is basically fulfillment and customer support and the back end side of your website, right? So this is kind of like the support section and how you actually send out the orders once you receive them, which is important, okay? Because the biggest obstacle is getting your store's name out there and then also getting the orders, but then how do you fulfill them? So we have how to mass fulfill orders using a plugin, which is really useful, which is the Biaheza plugin, which I've explained in my video. If you want to learn how to get started with Shopify dropshipping, I do have a full beginner's guide. You can click that down in the description below and subscribe to this channel for entirely free dropshipping videos. But he uses the same method, right? He uses the Biaheza plugin, which explains how you mass fulfill products. I'm not going to explain anything he explains in the course. They're very similar to my methods, but this is a pretty useful section. So he shows you then how to use this fulfillment software, which goes through and it's really easy to understand the way that he presents it. And then we have taxes and legalities. So when you scale the business up and you turn it into a real business, you're going to have to go through things like taxes and legal obstacles, which he explains. But you need to bear in mind that this section is mainly going to appeal to the American users because tax laws and rules are a lot different in other countries like the United Kingdom, for me, for an example, and anywhere else in the world. So that's kind of something personally you're going to have to actually research because most of the users of this course are going to come from the United States. So that's one thing which you need to consider when looking at this section. Then we have how to set up customer support. So nowadays you don't really need customer support to that extent because you can use automation software and automate most things. But this is about like hiring a customer support rep through Fiverr and getting someone to answer all the emails for you so you don't need to go through a long list yourself, which is a useful selection because this can be something which is really useful to outsource. So just these little parts of the course that are explained is really useful and it kind of shows that he does actually know what he's talking about. He's not just reselling some tips through a course. So this shows a little bit more customer trust to Biaheza as a course creator. So I really did like this section. And then there's a conclusion to the section after that. Okay, so let's go over the last section of the course, which is the bonus content section. So this is any content which was cut from the previous version of the course, which was the older version before TikTok ads was added. Any other bonus videos which are in the course which are going to be useful, which are a little bit off topic as part of the topic of the other sections, right? Bonus content first is the company social media pages. So which social media pages are you going to have to create for your brand and how to manage them? This is multi-platform across things like Facebook and Instagram. And then how to create viral adverts. So I can't remember if he goes through how to actually create the video ads and edit them. I don't think he does. I think he just goes through the concept. But this is a useful video to kind of understand how people make these marketing videos which are supposed to go viral, which can be useful. The next thing is setting up Facebook Pixel and the setup. Now, I actually skipped over this in the original part of the course because I wasn't really interested in Facebook ads. I think this does have something to do with Facebook ads, but I really can't remember. But this is more in-depth information for people who are going to look for Facebook information. Then we have his strategy. So one thing Biaheza always talks about is the fact that to scale his original business or his main store, his original method of marketing, right, was social media theme pages. And he'd make a theme page on Instagram and basically post things like memes or content based on a certain topic. So things like religious quotes and things like that is what he used to post, okay? And he'd use these to advertise his stores and products and scale up the pages to get followers to then promote and put his ads on it. Now, this explains his full strategy on how he creates theme pages, how he markets them around a certain genre or niche and builds up his followers. And this is part of the old course, right? So this isn't part of the new content, but it's still useful if you want to still use Instagram, although it's saturated as part of your selling tactics and marketing strategy. The next part is his full Facebook ads strategy. Now, I personally don't like Facebook ads. I think it's very long-winded. I did use them once before years ago, but on a really lower scale. But this goes through his full marketing strategy and how to set up Facebook ads. And although it's dated and not updated, I'm pretty sure it still stands and works the same as it does right now. So this is useful bonus content to include. And it's a good job that he didn't actually cut the content when he updated the course. He still included it for people who are interested in that certain subtopic. Then we have the section on setting up lookalike audiences. And finally, we have how to add a stylish text header to your website. Okay, so a text header being like the logo at the top of the website, which says your brand name, and how to create a logo with cool fonts and stuff like that. The headers don't look amazing, but it's a way for people who don't know graphic design to make a cool header or logo to show on the website to make it look a bit more professional. And it kind of goes in the how to build your website step-by-step part as kind of like a bonus feature. Okay, so that's all the subsections of the Biaheza dropshipping course. And now let's go over the pros and cons, what I personally thought of the course myself and what I found useful, what also needs to be improved, because we have to show some cons. This is an honest review. I'm not affiliated with him or his channel, so I'm going to show him what I think he could do to improve his course in a constructive way that's not negative or toxic. Okay, so the pros of the course. Let's first go over the good things, because there's a lot of good things about this course. So the length of the course I thought was extremely extensive, and it also features a large library of content for the price. So if you pay for this course, you're going to get a lot of material and a lot of hours of video, which you're probably going to decide to watch over a series of days because it's long-winded, but that's also a good thing, because you're getting value. The next thing is the videos are edited well and they're concise and straight to the point, and the videos themselves each are not too long-winded. It's only because you have many hours of content to watch one after the other. Then the course information itself, I thought it has a good structure to it. It's laid out into 4 different pillars, which is a really good content strategy, which you can go through a section at a time, which is really cool. I thought it had a great layout and structure. And then also let's go over the new part of the course, which is the 2022 update. The updated 2022 course features a core focus on TikTok ads, which are more powerful, and they're the kind of whole boom right now. They're cheaper than Facebook ads because they're in their infancy and a little bit newer, and you can use the TikTok algorithm and scale them a little bit better. So for people who want to learn TikTok, this is a good course for that. As for the videos, like I said, they were easy to understand. That's because they're actually very well structured. There's good information, and he kind of formats it based on how his videos on YouTube are edited. It's very much so the same style. He just doesn't really have the comedy or humor side of it or the entertainment factor, but it's edited the same and it's straight to the point, which is what we like, and it's quite snappy. So you get the information without any of the annoying parts you have to watch, which are really long. Then we also have information based on a niche single product store, and also information and tips talking about general stores for multi-products. So depending on which store you want to create, you kind of have the option and the advice for both of them in this course. And finally, to touch off on the pros, I'm going to say that there's useful quality information on marketing across multiple social media platforms. Even though it's entirely kind of focused on TikTok, he does include his old cut content on the other platforms if you want to learn a little bit more about them. Although it's a lot less extensive and a lot less content on those, he does include some so you can actually still learn about them, even though they're a little bit more dated and he doesn't tend to use them himself anymore. Okay, so now let's go over the cons of the course and what can be improved about the course. So first of all, I'd say that there's only a few product examples which he offers for successful winning products. Now, this is obvious why he's done this, because he doesn't want to reveal all his secrets, and he might still be selling products through different stores that might still be successful, and he doesn't want it to become oversaturated. That's obvious, right? But unfortunately, since there's only 2 or 3 complete beginners who need to learn as much as they can get to get a successful store, only have a few examples to learn from. But 3 or so examples are still better than nothing, and it's good he did actually still include some examples of what worked for him. Although in my opinion, I think including a few more would be quite nice. The course also could use some kind of section regarding the difficulties of starting a business from scratch for people who are looking at this course as a complete first-time entrepreneur, and also how to pass things like mental blocks and how to be more successful with a first store. I think this would be useful. Obviously, if you have the mindset, you have the mindset, and if you don't have it, you don't have it. But this section would be still beneficial for people learning business. Most people aren't joining college courses or learning about business, they're just getting straight into it through these courses, so a section like this would be pretty useful. I also think, since the next con which I'm going to talk about, or thing that could be improved, is we've seen Andrew Tate set up Hustlers University 2 on Discord, which is vastly successful, and some people have found a lot of value in it. So I think a community-based section on the course website, or even an exclusive private Discord just for the course and its members, would be a really great contribution section, and it allows people taking the course to offer people advice. That would be a really good thing Biaheza could add. I also think the course would offer great additional value if it showed you or covered how to turn a successful store and then scale it into a real life e-com brand to further develop the business after you see success with it. I think that's the only missing part of this course, which would be really useful. I think Biaheza's had a ton of success in dropshipping, and most likely he's probably scaled one of these into a real brand afterwards, or at least into something bigger than just a normal dropshipping label store. So how to do this would be a really good subsection. And my last con or improvement I would say is, although the course does feature useful information on the older methods, like I said in the pro section, like Facebook ads, there is of course a main focus in this year's update on the TikTok ads subsection, so you're going to see a lot less information on Facebook and Instagram, which might turn off a lot of users who are looking to be marketers on just these platforms and use the older methods. So that concludes my review on the Biaheza's dropshipping course. Should you buy it? Should you not buy it? This is an honest review. Go through the pros and cons, have a look at the course section breakdown, and you can make the choice for yourself. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want some free dropshipping content and videos. Like the video if it was useful and you found value in it, and subscribe for more business videos just like this one. See you next time.